Today is day 248 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at freeCodeCamp. We have finished yet again another stint at Code Wars. It was a long, arduous journey. Little time to stream. However, well, at least a little time to stream over the last couple days at odd hours. Same kind of thing today. Instead of our traditional midnight stream, somehow we lucked out and found some time to stream earlier today, but we have a very brief, small window for our amount of time to stream. So we'll do our best. I think freeCodeCamp, they were saying they had some, login issues. See, all this. No history. I think they're still doing some fix-it stuff behind the scenes. Anyways, we are tackling under intermediate front-end development projects. We are currently doing the Show the Local Weather app project, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. And even though they're having issues at freeCodeCamp for signing in, totally fine because we already embarked on our weather journey via CodePen weather stuff. A couple days ago, it's probably been close to a week, if not more, since we had last done anything. So, continuing on. So if we do checks that we can't really submit stuff or anything like that, but that's fine. We can still try and make as large of a dent as possible in what little time we have. We left off somewhere. It was... Let's read through the instructions again, because we should. It's been a while. From the top, show the local weather. Objective, build a CodePen IO app that is functionally similar to this guy. freeCodeCamp weather app, Laguna Niguel, 29.5 degrees Celsius. There are clouds present, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Way cool. So that's the end goal. Rule 1, don't look at the example project's code. Figure it out for yourself. More guidelines, really. Rule is a strong word. Rule 2, fulfill the user stories. Whichever libraries or APIs you need, give it your own personal style. User stories, I can see the weather in my current location. And our second user story, I can see a different icon or background image, e.g. snowy mountains, hot desert, depending on the weather. Also, user stories, I can push a button to toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Note, many internet browsers now require an HTTP secure, HTTPS, blah, 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 connection to obtain a user's locale via HTML5 geolocation. For this reason, we recommend using HTML5 geolocation to get user location and then use the freeCodeCamp weather API. Right. This link, freeCodeCamp weather API pass through. Yeah. I forget. We were struggling with this earlier, because we'd spent a good amount of time with this project before. At the end of it, we did end up looking at the fork and all the good code behind the wall. But there was more to it, which uses an HTTP secure connection for the weather. I'll be sure to connect to CodePen IO via HTTPS. I'm pretty sure we have, yes, HTTPS. Remember to use read search, ask if you get stuck. When you are finished, click the I've completed this challenge, blankety blank, get feedback, throw it up on Facebook, that way people can laugh. Noted, will do. I don't believe there was anything anything substantial in this little how-to video. This was the past setup they had. Yeah, I think we're in the clear. We are in the clear. All right. Good times. So, good recap. Back into action. Their weather app, the pass-through. FreeCodeCamp Weather API pass-through usage. Use the endpoint https fcc weather api.glitch.me. Use the endpoint to get the weather at a location. To prevent abuses, this server accepts GET requests only and serves only the route, API current, longitude, and latitude. Image links are included in the JSON under weather weather0.icon. This is enough to complete the challenge. Example requests FCC weather API glitch current. I think this is more of an example one. Yeah, because I don't think that changes. Request would be that latitude 35, longitude 139. Response coordinates, blanky blank, weather, ID, description, light rain icon, base station, pressure, humidity, all the fun one could ever want. Sea level, ground level, wind, and more goodies. So, what we want from here, let's look back once more at their app. Really, the only thing that changes, obviously the description and the icon, the cloud icon itself will change. The only click event JavaScript action we'll need will be changing the weather from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Currently, yeah, not great. Not great. Off to a rough start. So we had some stuff. Let's also change view to the right. That's better. That's less hideous. Okay, so this is the Earth. It's a very nice Earth. What did we have to start with? We have a script section with all of that noise, and then we have our HTML stuff. We've got some basic CSS in the meantime, and we used a lot of the core of this from our last project, which was the random quote generator. Just kind of as a placeholder for Windows, for divs and other things like that. And then JavaScript. That was the API itself. I'm trying to remember how much time we spent suffering before. I think it was quite a while because we ended up caving and looking at the code at the end after suffering indefinitely. I remember what we were going to do. We were going to take this and we were going to continue to modify it. So here we are in fact looking behind the scenes, but aside from that, yeah, weather app, we can do about halfway, just slightly less than halfway. All right. What I wanted to do was strip away as much excess nonsense as possible from both the HTML, the CSS, and even their JavaScript. theirs is very polished. And ours definitely won't be. We can make it look as nice as possible, but I know it won't, at least as of now. Day 248, it's not going to be this. And as basic as this is, there's all kinds of stuff in the background that are making it as handy and as functional as it currently is. So as of now, what do we currently have? We've got our script section in half-ish, slightly less than half. Yeah, good, good. All right. Currently, we've got document.ready function temp onClick function JSON. And we were following off of the freeCodeCamp map. Where'd it go? I think it was the JSON API here. The click events. It was get JSON with jQuery using getJSON method. We also use convert JSON data to HTML. And we tried to do the render image as well as pre-filtering and geolocation. Let's just stick with these two for now as we recap, because this is what we were referencing for a script section in our code. Script document.ready function temp. And we were basically just switching things out. However, that led to somewhat of a nightmare. And since we were switching things out, we ended up looking behind the curtain. Well, we wanted to, after struggling endlessly. We had to stop the stream. We knew we'd continue on, day like today. And now, I think, we will copy. Not copy. Curtail. Yes, curtail. What a perfect word to use in this situation. We're going to whittle this down to be as Spartan as possible. Good times. Good times. So what changed from this? Get JSON with the JSON with the jQuery getJSON method. Requesting data. Remember APIs. Most webs use blank.blank. Already been using it. Just throw it between curliness. Properties are fun. Get the JSON. $.getJSON. So that's this down here. JSON cats.json function JSON on message JSON stringify JSON. And that's where we started getting confused. It all started falling apart at this point because we weren't sure what dots we needed to connect. Get JSON http.glitch at me current longitude. So let's find where they have theirs, just as an initial starting point. Currently, they didn't even first off, they don't even have a script section. So that's a little concerning for us. I'm certain the script section's unnecessary, but that's what their example had. And now their current example for the project itself doesn't quite utilize that same setup. So div container blankety blankety blank free code camp. Cloud with hail. Cool. Weather app. Interesting. Div class blankety blankety blank offset text center city country is there a way to make it more accurate, like the geolocation? Or I guess, I mean, it's fine, it is close, we can, this city isn't that far from the actual city we're currently in, but I think it's polling based off our ISP, right? Internet service provider. Their geolocation. Because we ran into a geolocation thing before. Oh, you know what it was? Someone had sent a link in chat. I think it was a weather app, something very similar to this. We checked it on our computer. Again, it was, you know, I'm pretty sure it was the city for our ISP. But then we checked on our phone, and I had turned off when I had Wi-Fi on my phone, obviously tied to our ISP. So it showed the same location as my computer did. But when I turned off the turned off Wi-Fi and just went through the cellular network, different geolocation. Totally should not be surprising. It was fun to see the difference. I was excited. Again, we had to lower our standards for fun over the last 248 days, but that's as good as it gets. The slightly unexpected. So what are we looking at here? Here we had city, temp, and nonsense. So that's the actual temperature. I think that's the degree symbol, and then the unit. Yeah. Text center. What am I looking at? Text center clouds. Center icons. Sun shower hide. Cloud, sun, and arrays. Rain. Thunder icon. Cloud icon, lightning. And two different bolts. It must be the same lightning icon, but staggered. Or maybe it flickers. Icon cloudy hide clouds. Maybe it's that one. I'm trying to figure out what current cloud icon is being shown. Anyways, class inspired by blankety blank. So that's everything. That's all the HTML stuff. Going through and looking at it now, it's not as it seemed, like when I'm scrolling through the JavaScript, it seems like there's so much going on. I feel like I don't need all of this stuff, and we've done a couple projects through freeCodeCamp, and 90% of the time we end up with a fraction of the code they have. Theirs is very neat and clean and polished, but excessive would be how I would categorize it, considering we're still so early on in our journey. Although maybe 248 days isn't that early on. It still feels early to me, so... what are we looking at next? Now, we've got CSS, just getting from it. I'm trying to see how much of this I could actually strip away. I'm concerned about stripping stuff away from the HTML because it's using all the Bootstrap crap and the JSON API, and I think all of these are essential names and labels or classes that it's pulling from, that it's referring to make it function. We won't need all of that in the end anywhere as descriptive, but we will need stuff. We still need to show our weather icons. It's just, it's going to be closer to, where's description, weather, light rain. Like, let's see light rain and the icon for that. So, over here, where is light rain stored? Lightning bolts, cloudy, flurry. Maybe it'll just change the icon. Could have sworn they would have had light rain listed. So, oh, you know what it is? It's probably description. We'll worry about that later. Let's look at the CSS. You and your CSS. What does it mean when it starts to change? Body. Most everything. Status header, 30 pixels. Temp. Hover. Oh, yeah, it changes from light blue to dark blue when we're hovering over the Fahrenheit and Celsius. That's cool. And even the link for the creator. So from there, H1, all icons, div hide, icon, cloud, cloud after. Maybe that's the cloud that's moving in the background. Cloud nth child 2, or that's the one? Yeah, WebKit animation. Definitely that one. So that is cloud child number 2 fading away in the background. Sun, absolute rays, rays before and after, cloud stuff, rain, lightning, snow, rain after, a whole lot of, like, just all of that. Like, again, we're probably going to end up having bolt. We'll probably end up having a lot of these, but I just don't think we're going to have all of the positions and the defined colors and stuff like that, and the opacity. It's just going to be caveman lightning bolt. It's not going to be pretty. There's going to be lightning bolt, but it's not going to be the lightning bolt anyone wants. Bolt before and after. Yeah, there's not going to be a before and after for ours. Just the single occurrence. Yeah, no nth. No children running around. It's a lightning storm. Stay inside. Flake. Oh, snowflake. It's like, what kind of weather is flaky? Okay, WebKit keyframes. We're not going to have keyframe nonsense. See, excessive. This is what I was talking about. The box shadow. I don't need a box shadow. Remember, all we need, of course we can do more, but in the meantime, we can see the weather in our current location. We can see a different icon that changes, or background image that changes depending on the weather. And we can push a button to toggle Fahrenheit and Celsius. So I want to cut their code down as much as possible to that. this is just... Why? 392 lines of code just for... I mean, it looks amazing. This is great. Eventually, we'll get there. But today, no, not at all. Day 248, we're barely going to graze the surface. JavaScript nonsense. Now, this hopefully can shed some light. So I'm trying to figure out and come to terms with how they're pulling together all the information and pumping it out. Because right now, it just seems like a bunch of fucking magic to me. Look at this. Class stuff. Somehow they got a cloud in there, and it just works that way. And everything's all driven by Bootstrap. So it's all class-based and tied into CSS and referencing nonsense. So let's come to terms with that. Variable API, FCC weather. So we do have that. We've got one line of JavaScript, which is in fact that. And I think we grabbed that. That was our last thing we did, probably like a week ago, was shimmy that line over as a starting point. So from here, coming to terms with what the hell is going on, variable API, HTTPS, FCC weather API glitch.me app current. So that's the initial portion. So there's the weather.glitch/me. Use this endpoint to get weather location to prevent abuse. Server accepts GET requests only. Server only routes /API current ? Longitude and latitude. So here we're connecting the me API current ? Similar to this me API current ? And that's where the party stops. Then we need to update and set up this portion. And I believe that's why they have it broken down into two sections. So here's this, me API current, and it stops, and then they've got lat and longitude. Temp unit is Celsius, and current temp in Celsius. So, document.ready. Okay. Which makes sense, because here the reason why they have the script section is so they can have, because everything's occurring all in one window. Here, there's no separate JavaScript window and there's no separate HTML window. It's just one massive nightmare. Thus, the script section. So since we have our JavaScript window, we can piece this together. Also, see, again, this nightmare of coming to terms with everything, even though we are looking behind the curtain, not supposed to occur, it's kind of like if you were to be... It's basically reverse engineering. Sort of. We've already gone through all the freeCodeCamp lessons leading up to this point. We've also covered a lot of this stuff at other sites. It's so much information to remember everything all the time. Going through the trial of piecing it together, we will most certainly do. And that's the goal of it. The suffering as you build. However, we reached a point where we reached an impasse. There was no more progress occurring. That's why we're now looking behind. And basically, if you're given any device, whether it's a car, airplane, calculator, blender, you could be given it new, whole. You could know nothing about it, and you could just start taking it apart piece by piece, and you would end up learning and seeing how everything fits together. It becomes explained as you start to take it apart. So that's what we're doing now. The upside to that is to have the better understanding, to learn about what all the parts do before you start taking shit apart. So Fortunately, we've already gone through all the lessons over the last 248 days, so that's making this a little bit easier. Otherwise, we would just be deleting things and then copy and pasting, but that wouldn't be exactly helpful at all. Coming to terms with the task at hand. All right, good, crazy little tangent. Something about document.ready. So, document.ready function, we could move ours regarding the geolocation and all that fun stuff over. We can basically take all of our script stuff, cut that, and shove that in here. Okay. They've got a super pissed error icon. Unexpected token. Yeah, no one wants a surprise token. That would be bad. Surprise tokens are not fun. That means we can clear out the script nonsense. Variable API, blankety blankety blank. Document.ready. Temp on click. Temp on click. Opening curly braces. Get JSON, FCC, current, longitude, latitude. We should probably get rid of that. JSON, variable, HTML. You know what the other thing is? Is that this probably... No, we don't need to put that back in the div section. So much of this is just awful. See, here, we had the conversion stuff. So that was in the script section. There's nothing inherently wrong with it being here on this side. This side being in the JavaScript section instead of the HTML section. JavaScript nonsense. Semicolon. Opening curly braces. Variable. Closing. Keys. HTML stuff. More HTML things. Closing braces. More nonsense here. So where were they having the issue? Unexpected token. Do we need to... What if we comment that out? No, nothing. Back to the drawing board. Okay, still coming to terms with everything. Fair enough. Never give up, never surrender. Huzzah. Variable API, blankety blankety blah. Variable latitude and longitude. And temp unit will be C. And they're going to do all the current temps in Celsius. They're starting off with document.ready. If navigator.geolocation. Navigator.geolocation.getCurrentPosition. Function position. Variable latitude will equal latitude equals concatenating with the position.coordinates.latitude, which is concatenating with position. I assume that's a general variable that they're setting up. Position dot coordinates dot latitude. So it's going down the key value chain. Okay. Going down the key value chain. Same song and dance for longitude. Get weather. Latitude and longitude. So here's all this noise. That's what it's going to equal, but the actual goal of the function is to get the latitude and longitude. Else the geolocation isn't supported. Then we've got temp unit click function. So the current temp will show the current temp unit. The temp unit will equal current temp unit. If C, then F, otherwise C. If Celsius. When we click, then Fahrenheit, otherwise keep it Celsius. What are we looking for from here? Temp unit dot text, new temp unit. F. Variable Fahrenheit, math dot round, parse int $temp dot text. Whatever the temp is times 9 divided by 5, then add 32. Fahrenheit temp will be blank, the string, from character code. Hey, we did character code stuff last night at Code Wars. For the alphabet stuff, remember, we had to... you don't care. That's cool. We had to return a string, and... Oh, God, what did we have to do? We had to return a string, keep all the letters in the same place, but we swapped the letters for their position in the alphabet. That's what it was. And character code was our key to success. So, string from character code, else temp text, current temp in Celsius from character code 176. So it's either going to go through all the math hell or keep it as is. Function get weather. So now that we're getting weather, we're going to do URL string equals API concatenating latitude and longitude. Via Ajax, all this goodness will happen. So as far as the concatenation, the URL string will equal API plus this plus that. That's all of this. API plus Latin long. And that's to build out this whole string. The beginning portion, tagging on the latitude and longitude, and returning the whole damn thing as one cohesive, functional thingy. And again, it'll call in the proper geolocation data. There's a lot to come to terms with this. See, I know we'll be able to cut, like, most of the CSS stuff we won't need to use. Aside from, like, the weather-specific titles. The HTML, as much as we want and can cut things down, we'll need to keep... basically just keeping the class and IDs, the classes and IDs. However, we can change the div structure. Don't mind me. Let's go back to this. And think amongst yourselves for just a moment. All right, crisis averted. Back into weather hell. So we were coming to terms, building out. We now see how they were building out all of this noise. Oh yes, going over the ability to cut things down. Ours will be far more simplified. We're probably going to change the structure of it, but again, things like the class stuff, it's because it's all driven by Bootstrap. It's kind of a shitstorm. Tinkering with their example isn't exactly ideal because of how they set it up with Bootstrap and jQuery and all that stuff. Everything is kind of relying on each other. So curtailing their HTML and their JavaScript will require a bit more finessing than just hacking away. Most of the CSS stuff, just noise. Aside from the actual weather names and labels and crap like that, which we'll keep. Again, that's tied into all that Bootstrap nonsense and the jQuery references that they've got currently set up. But we should be able to simplify a lot of this. So we were still coming to terms with all the building of the, where'd it go? The URL. So that's here, them concatenating all of that goodness from before up above. API, latitude, longitude, after they've compiled all the, or gotten all the geolocation data. And then it goes into this Ajax nightmare. I don't have anything against Ajax, it's just we haven't had a lot of time to work with it, get our hands dirty. URL string, success function result, city text, result name. Hey, Yum Yum, how are you doing? Oh yeah, there we go. Hopefully your day is going well. We're just kind of mildly suffering here in general. Piecing together our weather app. We don't have tons of time to stream today. It'll be a shorter stream. Also, not super committed to the weather app. Weather is not that exciting, or at least our building a weather app is not that exhilarating. So anyways, we're coming to terms, getting a better understanding of how the hell all this black magic makes the weather API work. And it's actually been pretty insightful. Despite having less time to stream today, we've taken a longer time looking at their example and coming to terms with what they did, and it's been pretty damn insightful. Definitely cleared up a lot of the confusion. Anyways, Ajax, URL string, success function result, city.text, result name, blah. Country.text, result. Oh, this is again going through, this is the whole key value pair stuff. See again, so just like how they did earlier, position.coordinate.latitude, and then for longitude they did position.coordinate.longitude. same kind of thing. So they're going blah 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 dot weather dot description, and they're also going blah 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 weather or blah 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 dot pressure. No, what's another good one? What has a whole flock of info in it? Sys, probably. Blah 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 dot sys dot sunrise. Yeah, see? So that's how we'll find and pull the data, is going further into it via the key values. So that's interesting. That's what all these are. Again, moving on, current temp, string stuff, character code. Character code is so handy. Yum. Start by getting the data first. URL is the URL you want to send a request to. Yeah, we've got our initial same song and dance as they've got, of course, for that first bit. So we've got that cleared. Again, this is our second time around with this weather app. We had spent, I don't know how long the first time struggling with it. So this time around for today's stream, we just kind of jumped in to comparing their code that they have to what we will end up with. Function icon get. Description to lowercase. Oh, clever. They really have it listed. Yeah, they do. Rain. I mean, that's not a huge deal. Light rain. It does simplify. It removes any potential for error. That's what the two lowercase is doing. Not necessary, but effective. Switch case, effective choice, good call, drizzle, add icon for whatever the description is. So this is handy. Clear, thunderstorm, function, add icons, div dot description, remove class hide. Okay, so that was everything that was happening behind the scenes. Way cool. A lot of the confusion is gone. There's still going to be a lot of sadness as we piece this together. But now that we've had a thorough, thorough breakdown of what the hell was actually happening, I'm feeling better. We still need to work on the document.ready and the get.json nonsense, but we'll get there. Yum. Success is the function that will be executed if the server sends a successful response. Ah, cool. So that was back, you were referring to success. Ajax, okay. So once more, now that we're looking at it, success is the function that will be executed if the server sends a successful response. So it all depends on if this works out. If it does, so we got this variable, URL string, which is really all of this stuff up top, as it got pieced together accordingly. So back down, where to go? Right, Ajax. So cramming that into a new variable, URL string. All of that goodness will pan out if it's successful. And then inside the curly braces, blah, 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 blah. Man, look at that. That's so cool. That's awesome. Alright, well now I kind of want to tweak stuff. Instead of actually copying and pasting noise, which is not fun, obviously setting up our own stuff, I'd actually like to tinker with their code. I want to see how much noise I can get rid of. So, for shits and giggles, boom. Weather stuff. Okay. Weather stuff. Rightfully so. Header class. See, watch this. I want to... What do I want to do? What if we... Oh, commenting in HTML is different. It's the stupid spears. It's the stupid spears. See, weather class, it's keeping it centered. That's what we want, but we don't want... I mean, we're fine with all of this. I want to see... It's just interesting. It's so much easier to view visually when you change it. It's so nice having it already there. I want to make it as simple as possible. Again, there's normally, again, the goal is to do it ourselves. There's a hilarious amount of projects and challenges that they have here at freeCodeCamp. Borderline endless. We're going to have plenty of time to struggle. We've struggled numerous days out of the 248 days. But now, I'm just curious to see changing stuff on the fly. They've got a perfectly fine and functioning app, but what happens when I go changing things? I think it would be interesting. 12? Look at that! That's a 12. So it was an 8, and now let's put it to 4. Isn't that cool? That's so much more interesting than normal. Ah. That's awesome. It's kind of like on the job training, you know? Just when they throw you in the fire pit. Now, that is building it yourself, but it's not quite the same when everything's going well. Now is the time to fall on our face and tinker with stuff. I can't wait till I get my first dev job in a functional environment and then start tinkering with their code. Everyone's going to be seeing the Google search bar shifting over to the right and then back to the left and then centered again. No one's going to let me do that. So I need to do that here. Because that's so fascinating. There have been 15 changes without a save. Yeah, that's right. We're going to live dangerously. No need to save. So let's get rid of... I just want to see how much crap I can delete from this. That's the other thing. Again, their app is beautiful. I want to turn it into a simpleton. Like myself. Let's get rid of... What happens if I delete this? Look at that. Nothing bad happened to anybody. Fantastic. We're going to put it back. Oh god, I'm destroying things already. There we go. Whew. See? There's still plenty of potential for me to destroy this, even with just altering their code. My concern is that, like, again, it's all Bootstrap based, so everything's tied together on their CSS info, and because it's all tied to Bootstrap stuff for CSS, their JavaScript stuff as well, it's all, they've got the same titles and cloud thing and rain and bolt. It's all weather based, and it's all one giant knot that's tied together. Effective for this particular app, but it's not exactly conducive to us swapping out or switching things. So, anyways, yum. Everything is broken. Basically, remove Bootstrap, right? Which I think I may do in general, but so much of it is tied to each other. The CSS, even their JavaScript, so we'll keep going. What are we trying to do? So, yeah, let's... Can I get rid of row? The thing is that as I delete these divs, I'm going to end up with a stack of divs at the bottom, closing div tags, and I'm not going to know what they're stuck to. Which is going to blow. But whatever. Div class row. We want to live dangerously, we're going to do it. So we've got container. Yeah, there should be a closing div tag tied to that should also be removed, but we're going to figure that part out later. Div class something or other. Not interested. Text center. What's status do? Oh, status. Status is some kind of CSS font thing. Not interested in that. City span. Okay, so see, this is effective. That's handy. But more importantly, I'd really like to see... We'll leave that for now. We are going to change that in the future. Wow, they use span tags? Huh. I wouldn't... I mean, they cover span tags really early on, you know, in CodeAcademy and whatnot, but I haven't seen span tags for the last 247 days. No one's had a need to do it. Usually you do everything with CSS or the class IDs and whatnot, but good for them. Bringing the span tags back into action. I like their style. We're on our deleting rampage. So, do we really want to center all icons? Don't mind me, just a moment. Hey, Topher, how you doing? Don't mind me, I'll be back. Alright, crisis averted. Back into action. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay. Minor household issues. You know what? We were going through carefully. We don't want to go through carefully. Let's just destroy everything. How does that sound? I think that sounds just dandy to me. The only ones we'll keep are div class container. And I don't know why, but yeah. Good. Good. Let's do this. Div class container can live, and anything holding something. Yeah. Like this guy. What happens if we delete this one? Good, good, good. It's falling apart. I love it. Let's just destroy everything. You know what? Screw div class container. Let's delete this. And delete you. ID. What the deuce is the ID? Oh, that's the description. Okay, we'll keep that. That can live. Topher, what have you gotten done so far? Ah, yes, progress. This is what I have. Now, this is what I ended up achieving like a week ago after like an hour and a half of frustration and tears and whatnot. So today, I decided to do a slightly different route. I actually went through, usually their example code for their CodePen example things are extremely, we'll call it thorough. But in all honesty, they're excessive. I don't need my nth cloud child to have a background and a box shadow and opacity of 0.3. It just, no. This is our level. I just want to simply understand what the hell was happening. So I went through, saw all this stuff, and we got to sort of reverse engineer, break down. We got to suck on every single line of code of their HTML and CSS and JavaScript to see how it all comes to life. Really interesting, super cool. But now what we're going to do is try and whittle down all the nonsense they have into the core essentials that we'll need to get the job done. Then from there, we can kind of pile on to what I have. But, yeah, good times. So, open to requests as well. But, that's kind of the current track we're on. What else were we looking at? Yeah, because we had our examples, but it was interesting. Yes, so, because all we need to do are the user stories. We need to be able to see the weather in the current location, see different icons or backgrounds depending on the weather, and be able to push a button to toggle Fahrenheit and Celsius. That's what we're looking to do. Yeah. So we're just kind of destroying anything that is less than essential, and frankly, that's just about all of it. Yeah, this is noise, and that's noise, also noise, noise here, noise there. That's, yeah, this is all crap right here. Flurries and snowflakes and sunny rays, and just a bunch of crap. Let's destroy all of this. How great is that? Screw the 1x1 stuff. Let's light this on fire. Boom! Loving it. Oh, we can breathe. Yeah. Alright, simplifying the website. Weather stuff. Paragraph. Class text center. Maybe inspired by... Nope. Not a chance in hell. Gone. Dee. Ka-frickin' boom. Okay, so... div class stuff is now gone. We can keep text center. There's nothing wrong with that inherently, or there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Although it does feel a bit unnecessary at this point. We also have our paragraphs. Kind of want to get rid of the span tags, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Let's see. You know what? We wanted to keep the cloud icon. We ended up destroying that on our rampage, but I'm okay with that. We can always go back. We still have access to the whole link, which is fine by us. So there's that. What part of the CSS do we actually need to keep? Because right now, city makes sense. Let's get rid of the span tags. Let's simplify this. Wait a second. We could keep the span tags. Because we do want it to be combined. Like the city and so forth and such and such. These are technically okay to have. From here, what else can we destroy, though? We no longer need body. Status died. Paragraph stuff has also died. We've got city, country, temp, and temp unit. And then description. Header, I mean, all of this stuff can just... we don't need any of it. Screw this. If we need to add a class, we know what we can do. And then we can always redo that in CSS later on. What if we do get rid of span? How do we feel about that? Lagoon and Agel. Paragraph. Oh, but again, it's on different lines. It's on different lines. Okay. See? This is why we do this. This is why we are tinkering. Span is our friend. Span is our friend. Cool. So there's that. From here, Do we care about status? Nope. Do we care about the header? Also no. Temp. Yes. Temp is our friend. Temp is good. Although, do we need all of this crap inside of temp? I don't think so. Why do they have 300 lines of CSS? Did that not seem excessive to anyone? So here, I'm trying to figure out how to go about doing this nightmare. My concern, because again, we use the template. Our template, this nightmare, came from a random code generator earlier, which that one was equally questionable and scary and hilarious. But currently, my main thing is pulling in the JavaScript. Because now as I delete most of the Bootstrap stuff and see that the essential information is still there, that means we really don't need any of the CSS stuff. Because again, all styling. The IDs here that are referenced are really only handy in the JavaScript portion at this point. See, like temp and whatnot. That would be temp here. Has nothing to do with the temp here. So I think we can honestly just delete all of this, which I am totally fine with. Yeah, let's do 0 CSS. Control all, beautiful, and delete. Oh, look at that. It's still awesome. Yeah. And we can still click on it. Boom. You see that, little cat? Where'd you go? Yeah, you're down on the floor. All right. Okay. Topher, I can't see the JavaScript on account of your face. Oh, damn. You're right. Hold on. Steven's face is in the way, and now that I've simplified it so much, we'll get to the JavaScript issue soon. I'll move my noggin. That's a great point. Let me look at it. See, oh god, Jesus! I just went into OBS. There is the box of frustration right around here, and there's all the oh god, little cat. We're doomed. Okay. There's that. You know what? There's that. The sweatshirt. Little cat, do you want me to move her sweatshirt? The last crisis was the missus coming home and assisting. There you go, little cat. Do stuff. We'll move the JavaScript and things soon. Oh my god, little cat, just don't. Well, you know what? There's not a lot for you to destroy because I've removed most of it, but I'm still gonna set you over here. Watch your face. Okay. We're gonna be good. Now, change view. Do we do it up top? Or is that weird? Up top or to the right? I don't like it to the right. I don't like it to the right at all. Let's put it up top. Let's go ahead and clear out. Again, we're still on our simplifying phase of this particular nightmare. So in the meantime, their setup is very effective and handy. I still feel like it's more than what I need. We're looking for this. We're simplifying. We're trying to come to terms with what the hell is actually happening. So I get that we'll have the link, and we're trying to construct the weather API glitch dot whatever, an API current, and then we'll have longitude and latitude. And these two will be updated via the coordinates. So we'll need to start setting that up. All right. Chambor. Shambo R7. It's definitely Chambor. Chambor 7, you got it, bro. Thank you. Also, hey, Chambor 7. Hey, man, why aren't you using some sweet React.js or some modern 1337 framework? Because I'm clueless. Yes. Day 248 of our journey. We've hit the reset button a lot on our 248 days, so we're not as far down the path as nearly anyone else after 248 days, which is okay. We've learned to deal with it, but thus basic coding. So yeah. Anyways, Topher Gates, he's using jQuery. It's the most 1337 framework there is. I don't even know. Should we Google? Should we take the time to we'll Google it? Little kitty, time to learn. JavaScript 1337 framework. Nothing like a good tangent to derail us. A decoupled framework. How about a Google Images? Maybe like a metaphoric description. Something, I see a sailboat. Does it have anything to do with sailboats? Yeah, okay, 3 sailboats. It's for sure got to do something with sailing. The 4-5, I know it's the same image over and over, but you know what? I'm sold. Something about boats. That was probably the worst Google search in the history of mankind. I don't believe. All I can think of is Anchorman. God, what is it? Diversity? Pretty sure the network is not concerned about an old wooden ship. Oh, God. All right. Let's see. What were we doing? So this is our current nightmare, which we will be transitioning this hilarious abomination over to this. It's just we're still coming to terms with that. So focusing in on the JavaScript stuff now. Eliminate, seek and destroy, simplify. Trimming the fat. Shambro, cool man. You're going great. Keep going. Sorry, that was a joke. I said 1337 as in leet. Well, I'm clueless, but good times. Yum yum. I actually meant React.js framework. Well, I guess took it too seriously. Please proceed. You destroyed him. But now it highlights why we've got this after 248 days, right? Even that's impressive by our standards. Okay, so I did go through. We indulged in their JavaScript line by line, and it was actually fairly straightforward. I just don't think I would have taken the time to like this. Navigator.geolocate. Why? Does that... It seems like that's important, but I don't want to deal with any of that. I just want document.ready function and it to work. I don't think that's going to happen, Steven. I think all of that is essential. Temp unit... This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. All right, here we go. Let's actually piece together. I am going to take this. Cut. Back to mine. All. Paste. Weather stuff. Screw all the CSS. We're going to move this up top. Because this is mine. And we will get rid of what they have for now. Do you want to save changes? Leave it. That's not ours. Again, we always have access to the full glory of what it's supposed to be. But I think since we're really focused on just sort of the current stuff, save. Why does it still have this? I thought we destroyed all of that. Refresh. Because here, I kind of want to just start the JavaScript side from scratch. Because for their JavaScript, it's not... Their JavaScript code, if I go to tinker with it, it's all going to fall apart. It's not going to be like the HTML, where structurally I can shift everything as I delete huge chunks and it'll still function the same. I can't just delete a whole block of JavaScript and expect the same results. So since that is the case, I'm going to leave that as is. We'll have why is it struggling so much? What is this? Why is it so broken? All right. What's going down? What's wrong with Navigator? I don't know. Nothing's wrong with Navigator. I don't know what it's doing. Tophergate's checking if the browsers support HTML5 geolocation API before using it. You can HTML5 my CSS3 anytime. Tophergate says, thank you? Question mark. Yeah, getting weird. So did I break it? I mean, I hit save. Let's go back to our profile for some reason. We've broken CodePen. Weather stuff. Beautiful. So, the upside to this, now having it stripped down, is that at least comparatively, when I get the JavaScript right, that's why it's sucking. It's because it's the document.ready function. Oh, look at that. See, even looking at the back end of this stuff there's still, again, I knew I would learn, and it's been great so far. Unorthodox for sure, but handy. So that's what's going down here. This is why document.ready function is so important, but mine's totally messed up, so it's not doing anything properly. So it's trying to load and run things, and it's just sadness in its most pure form. So let's close out of that. We can actually close out of the current one to put the universe at ease. We'll open it back up shortly. But what do we want? In the meantime, let's do select all, paste, just that. We can select all here, destroy all of the CSS. We're back to where we were at, and now let's see what we can do with the JavaScript stuff. How does that sound? function. Add icon. What is this? You know what? It was... Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Undo. And undo here. This stupid cloud icon. Yeah, that floaty cloud right there. We know what we're talking about. Something cloud. Nope. We're gonna find it. Every cloud will die one at a time by my hand. It's the world we live in. Okay, we're getting close. That's one. That's two. Aha! We found it. You bastards. Gotcha. Gotcha. Alright, look at this. So, it was that last cloud, all by its lonesome. Icon, cloudy, hide clouds, whatever the hell that is. Okay. Now, all we want to keep from this div class is the last one. If we get rid of that, it was the black center to it. If we get rid of this, I don't know what it was changing, but it changed something. Now, what else about it was it? It was icon. That's what it is. Icon is lowering it. Damn, no. Why? What could it be? Clouds. Maybe it's cloudy. Yeah. So cloudy is what's making it special, and all the post-hide nonsense is just fluff. So what if we get rid of both of those? Now there's no clouds. No clouds for anyone to have. A cloud-free future. Alright, alright. Don't mind me. I'm just coming to terms with everything and its place in the universe and all of that noise. So, div class nonsense. Watch this. Because now we can simplify and keep all the goodness. Ta-da! Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Sounds good, bro. How do you like React Native? Chamber 7. It's awesome. I mean, one of the best solutions in this day and age. Have you heard of or tried Expo? Also, now with Expo, it's really easy to develop and set up. Damn right I have, bro. Yeah, it's legit. Don't try to out web developer me. I'm a legit code ninja. Train dojo. jQuery temple. Tons of fun. Okay, yeah, no, I'm in the coding kiddie pool. So now that means for each of these classes, look at this. So for Thunderstorm, we keep Thunderstorm, but everything after from the hide can go to hell, and we don't need the extra lightning stuff. I don't even think we need probably class lightning. We could probably just do bolt. True story. They cycle through them. How cool is that? What if we get rid of this? They're all there, so they're hiding them when it's not necessary versus having them all available. So hide is our friend. Hide and hide. I'm just coming to terms with how they have everything set up. That's so interesting. So the reason why cloud is there is because we've removed hide from the situation. We're going to worry about all of this later. Let's go ahead and do select all, paste. Let's stick with simplified stuff. Screw the icons. JavaScript nightmare. Let's do this. We were coming to terms with JavaScript. I would like to comment that out, and comment this out. Document.ready. Let's do one line below. Comment this. How far down does document.ready go? I think it goes to here. All right. Temp unit, click function. So that's our click function. Let's comment this out. And function get weather. Let's also comment this out. And lastly, function get description. Okay. So from here, we can build our own. All right. We should be good. We should be good. Let's copy you. Oh, crap. 1, 2, 3, death. You know what? Delete that. Delete this. God, I'm really struggling on where this particular function thing ends. Line 20 is confusing the hell out of me because I can't tell if that's where it ends or not, or if there should have been a semicolon. This was just click function. Oh, you know what? I actually think this one belongs to the document.ready. My bad. No? At least it seemed like it belonged to document already. That's okay. We're gonna, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Can't even highlight. Okay, so function add blank, function icon blank, function get blah, and yeah, document ready. That seems like the issue. So let's do, I actually want to delete from here for some reason. No? Unexpected identifier. I don't know what that means or how to help them with that issue. Do I need anything more for document already, though? Let's go back to this. Where the deuce? jQuery. Building JavaScript. Hold on. We'll find it. Functional programming, basic algorithm crap, intermediate stuff. Click events. Okay, document ready function, and then get message function. So there's the two that should be occurring. So 2 sets of this. Copy. Well, we have 2 sets of that. So maybe it was, oh, it was that guy. Okay, it was that guy. My bad. It was that guy. Alright, we are set. I've got my basic JavaScript now. Still totally clueless on what actually needs to occur, but this is a far better starting point than where we were at. Yeah. Good. Okay. There's that. Okay. Go time. So let's go over to back to freeCodeCamp, or not freeCodeCamp, CodePen. Close and close. What's their API stuff? We have all of that info. We want weather stuff here. We want to take you, shove that in here, and you copy shove that in here. Hopefully that balances out. Nice. We can close this. Leave that. This has been saved yet again. So now... Oh, now the weather stuff's probably blocked by my stupid face. I know what we can do. The HTML really isn't going to change, so we can change our view, edit layout, Can't this be shimmied somewhere? Good enough. Okay. Halfway. Say less than halfway. All right. So from here, save stuff. How's that looking on the God, my face is still in the way, you slimy bastard. We'll do it on the right side. It's just, it looks terrible on the right side. How does that seem? That better? Worse? Compared to Topher, what do you think? For guidance, you want to, is it easier to see on the top or the right? I'd prefer it be anywhere but the right, but I think that's where it's going to stay. Something about something about you're out of a dojo. Legit Code Ninja, trained in dojo, my bad. Jake Reed Temple, how long you been a ninja? 5 years, but I'm making legit dollar figures. I'm a man you. No ninja, but I've been doing web developer stuff 15 years or so, though. Nice, beat me to it. I probably drown in mad dollar bills. Women. Make good living, just not web development. What's your gig? Work in healthcare. Web development is just a hobby for me. So you terrible web developer. I don't know. He's been pretty awesome, helping me out. It must be a terrible web developer, really amazing doctor. If you make more money in healthcare than web development, either way, good for you. Money doesn't make you a good developer any more than it makes you a good doctor. True dat, Topher. True dat. No, but your skills are a big part of what makes you get lots of money. Suppose, maybe. The right makes it easier for viewers to see it for sure. Yeah. Flaunting can help. So, okay. The right makes it easier for viewers to see it for sure. Okay, cool. Donka. Let's continue on with the nightmare. So, I've got our link. We need to, user story 1, we need to see the weather in our current location. We need to see a different icon or background image. And we need to be able to push a button to toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Here we go. We've got our current endpoint. Blankety blankety blank dot me. Use the endpoint to get a weather location. To prevent abuse, use get requests and only serve the route API current blank. Image links are included under JSON. Weather 0 icon. This is enough to complete the challenge. Example should look something like this. Latitude 35, longitude 139. So the parts that will be changing is after the question mark. Ergo, we have our current link set up to said question mark. We will continue on. We need to have a variable for latitude. And variable for longitude. Those will equal, latitude will equal coordinate dot, now how am I calling the key value again? Is it its coordinate dot latitude? Or no. Will equal coordinate latitude. And actually, what's the full? Because the curly brace is blank. That's just one element. Then we've got weather, which is the name of that array. Wind speed, wind, dot, so forth and such and such. BDX, look up the geolocation API for an example. MDN. Okay. Geolocation API. MDN. Thank you, Topher. MDN geolocation API. Probably could have just done MDN geolocation. Using geolocation. Using geolocation. Geolocation API allows the user to provide their location to the web applications. For privacy reasons, the user is asked permission to report local information. Geolocation API published through, the navigator.geolocation object. That was like the heart and soul. Okay. That makes sense, because when we were looking at the example one, that's what they started with. So that totally makes sense now. Okay. Geolocation. If object exists, geolocation services are available. You can test the presence of geolocation thusly. If... Is it wrong to just use that? If geolocation in Navigator, geolocation is available. Else, geolocation not. Sounds like we're going to use that. Navigator.geolocation, get current position, function position, do something. Position. Aha! That's what we're looking for. But we need all of this noise first. Latitude, longitude. The above example will do something, function, to execute. So the question is, do something just a placeholder, or is that literally part of the whole process? Why don't we call it instead just horde? Navigator geolocation, get current position, function, and actually we should have that probably maybe even inside the document dot ready. navigator, blah, blah, blah. Document.ready function. Navigator.geolocation. Current position. Function position. Do something. I want to change do something to another name, but I'm not sure if that's allowed. Let's call it variable chord. Now, wait a second. Watching the current position. So getting the current position, to obtain the users, you have to call getCurrentPosition method. This initiates it. Right, second callback blankety blankety blank. By default, getCurrentPosition tries to answer as fast as possible with low accuracy results. It's useful if you need a quick answer, regardless of accuracy. Devices with a GPS, for example, take a minute to get, take a minute or more to get GPS fix. Okay. Gotcha. So that explains the difference, why it's not the current city we're in. That discrepancy. The above example will do something function when obtained. So watching the current position. The position data changes either by device movement or if more accurate geo information arrives. You can set up a call function, a callback function that is called that will update the position. This is done with blankety blank. Variable watch ID, navigator geolocation, watch position. So that's to have it constantly updated. So I take it that means currently the way it's set up to get info is when it runs with this, when it shows the weather here. Let me show, let's open this up. So it sounds like it's the difference of when this runs and it's showing the weather, that it'll stay this way if we don't refresh the page. However, if we set it up as a watch, it'll continue to update and change on the fly, regardless of us refreshing the page or not. I think that's what they were saying. Maybe not. Maybe not. Fine-tuning. Blah, 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 blah. Handling errors. Geolocation live example. Find me, show location, JavaScript content. Go find me. Success. Okay. Question. Yum Yum mentioned success. It looks for if it finds the data or if it receives the info for that. It will, what was it? Success is the function that will be executed if the server sends a success response. Is this kind of like an if statement? If it receives something, then it will do that. I'm just curious if there's a way to use success for non-geolocation based. Actually, I guess it would be usable for any API. That's all. Just looking to add tools to my kit for the future. Just curious, thinking outside the box. More to the point, though, the task at hand. So, function success position. Maybe this is what we want. Success position, coordinates, latitude, and longitude. If navigator geolocation blankety blankety blank, this equals that. Well, what if we just did that? That seems to be fine. Screw all of that noise. If navigator dot, what was it? Navigator geolocation. If navigator geolocation latitude blank blankety blank. Variable latitude, position coordinate. Now, is it redundant having the if statement inside the document.ready function? Because I'm just concerned, as it was doing before, it was trying to run stuff for the HTML was just constantly loading because my previous JavaScript, the document ready, wasn't set up properly. And I was trying to pull shit before the web page could load, so I just don't know if it needs to be inside the document.ready or if it could be outside. I think it should be inside. Let's cut that. Yeah. If that, those that. MDN has some good documentation. Tovergates. Success is a function. That's all. The success function is called when the getCurrentPosition method of geolocation object is successful. It could also be anything, really. Success just makes sense logically. All right, let me go back. So just like whatever function error, function success is a thing. That's a good point. All right, my bad. I thought success was like a keyword or something. But success isn't a keyword. It's just the variable name. It just happens to be very applicable in this situation. It's a good one to use or to implement. All right. Sort of like a for loop. Variable I, if you will. Oh, super death. Oh, God. Okay. We are continuing on. All right. So what else should I be doing? Prompting for permission, geolocation, browser compatibility. I want to see. I guess we could even return the else. Copy. No need to not let them know how it works. But instead of comment it out, geolocation is not available. Ta-da! Wait a tick. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I don't know if that's actually necessary, but we can have that. So, in the meantime, though, we need... I still need to pull... The geolocation API is published through Navigator Geolocation Object. Let's see what we have. It is like 1,000 degrees in this room. Don't mind. Sure, we have a jacket on, but we had the air conditioning before, and it was somewhat frosty. Now we're just doomed. Hold on. Getting the current position. You can call get current position method. This. I want to use this. Maybe... Hold on. What if I put this... document.ready, blah... Navigator, blah, 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 blah. But now... Take... Cut... Come on... Boom. Right? Maybe? It's got to be a little more interesting than last time. Is there anything inherently wrong with that? Document.ready navigator.geolocation.getCurrentPosition function position if navigator geolocation. So if it was able to pull that, if it was successful, basically, variable latitude would be position, coordinates, and latitude. For latitude, same goes for longitude. Else, geolocation isn't available. I feel like I'm okay with that, but I'm really not sure if that's... In my mind, it makes sense to me, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Next thing, temp unit and the click function. All right, so temp unit. If something temp unit. The other thing is we should have looked at the other pages that we had opened. Geolocation, geo equals geolocation. Wow, that didn't help anyone at all. Geolocation interface represents blankety blankety blank. Geolocation get current position, watch position, and clear watch. We're going to be using get current, so that really didn't add a whole lot to our knowledge base. Here, though, secure content. This feature is available only in secure blankety blankety blank. Geolocation current position is used to get blank. Navigator, success, error, and options. Callback. Options enable height, timeout, maximum age, success, position dot coordinates. I don't think we need that. So this is the only page we really needed to reflect on. Continuing on to the click function, we have new text, or new window. When our click event happens, we use jQuery to update an HTML element. Let's make it so we can, when a user clicks get message button, we can change the text to say, here's the message. So on click, on the message, here it is. And where do they have the message currently? The message will go here. The class is tied to it. So when it updates with this. So we want to update, though, not HTML, but something. Not HTML. But here, what do we want to update? We want this ID city temp unit, ID temp, and temp unit. Temp unit class temp. Oh god. Command Z. Temp. And the message here is actually, would it be, I think it would be position, if I'm not mistaken. Position dot main dot temp. Minimum, maximum, and temp. Position dot main dot temp. Position dot main dot temp. Position dot main dot temp. God, I don't know if that's right, but I really hope it is. Geolocation, weather stuff. Position dot main dot temp. We'll wait and see. Okay, so what else do we need to do? I still feel like something is inherently broken. But maybe that's just part of life. Temp unit. When temp unit is clicked, temp something is changed. I want to say temp unit is changed. Why, God? When that's clicked on, I want to put it as the same thing, as in temp unit and temp unit. But I don't think we can have it be that redundant. I think it needs to be something different than what we're referencing for the click event. Super death. Navigator geolocation. Blankety blankety blank. Death, death, death. Okay, what else do we need? Would we need more? Aside from it changing those two, Celsius and Fahrenheit, I don't think we'd need anything more than that. Okay, so getting weather. Latitude and longitude. Well, death, isn't that what this was? I thought that was the whole point of all of this. Does this belong somewhere else? Command X. Also, it's like 900 degrees in my room right now. Give me just a moment to go tend to the air conditioner before we all burst into flames. Something's inherently wrong. Something is inherently wrong. D. Super death. Okay. I'll be right back. Think amongst yourselves. This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. Alright. We're alive. Barely. Okay, so we're totally doomed. You know what? Let's compare. We made it this far. We used their structure and reference before, so why not just see what the hell is actually going on? There's that. No one needs this. Okay, so for theirs, they set up all those variables, but oh look it, I had the if. I had the navigator thing, and I even put it inside. Oh, but what's get weather here? I don't have that bit. Oh, in console log. Will return still work? What about console log? Okay, I wasn't terribly off. That is a little comforting. Oh, but that's the difference. They were concatenating it. That's right. Latitude and longitude is that. Okay. But what's the get weather? Who is this? Why? Why? Get weather, blankety blankety blank. Does it, like, auto-load it into the get weather function by having get weather here? I don't know. Or maybe get weather is just like another function in and of itself, and that's all it requires. We will continue on. We will find out. Hey, it's 82 degrees now. Yeah, it hasn't dropped enough because everything still hurts. Okay, so I wasn't terribly off. That's cool. I had, which means I moved it, though, out of fear, which was not necessary. So let's do this. Oh, but you know what? Another thing was the difference. They did if first and then that. That was my issue. Or another one of them. Cut if variable position blah 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 else. I mean, we can do console log. I don't really mind, but I've been using return for so long, but I don't think that's going to do any good if we simply return it. So I feel like console log is needed in this instance. Console.log. Alright, so there's that. Next bit is the click fiasco. Temp unit click current temp was $blank blank. New temp equals current temp else if blank 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 blank. New temp.text new. So that's for it to filter. Let's do current temp and new temp. This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. This is awful. Why would they want to make a weather app? We are doomed. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. How do I want to go about this? So we need to have our two variables. See, why are they establishing them? Oh, so they're global variables. That's why. So they're setting them up top. When they run them in the functions, they're going to update, but that same info will be continued on into other functions, and those functions can update them again as well, and it's a whole cyclical thing. That's what's going on. I was trying to figure out why they weren't establishing them here in the actual function, but the issue now is that when we go down to the get weather section and it takes latitude and longitude, it's not going to be able to reference that. Again, still, all of that realization while looking, all of the realization is occurring, at least for me, while staring at this. I know it's bad times, but it's just that's where the learning happens. At the source. So we will need variable latitude and variable longitude. However, we're going to call it, oh god, sneezy issues. Brace yourselves. Oh god. Run, children, run. Jesus. Why? The pain, the agony. Okay. We are fading quickly, and we have surpassed our allotted stream time, but I'm just determined to get this over with. Instead of current temp or whatever, we're going to do ctemp. We're going to do ctemp for current, and then eventually we'll end up doing ntemp for new temperature, but we'll deal with that in a bit. So ctemp for now. We've got this, we've got that. We're golden. Here we will continue on with what's the next little piece to our nightmare. Ctemp and ntemp. Current temp in Celsius. That's an entirely different beast. There's temp unit and current temp in Celsius. I want to set them up now, but I think I'm going to wait to set them up until I trip over something that requires me to set them up. I think that way I'll learn a harder lesson, so it really sticks with me. With that said, we have tempunit.text, cunit, $tempunit.text. Close. Variable, we'll call it current temp in Celsius, and variable, oh, we were going to wait to set those up. Yeah, we'll activate them, and we'll set them up. However, you know what? Lowercase c. That's right. Gonna be a rebel. Let's comment that out and comment this out. Then we'll activate them when we need them. Variable c temp equals dollar parentheses quotes, was it temp? Pretty sure it was temp dot text something or other. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Yarg, matey. Shipper timbers. Why Pirate Steven? Pirate Steven's not going to solve anything. Temp unit versus new temp unit equals current blankety 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 blah. Do I want it to be... See, the issue, by default, I'd prefer it be in Fahrenheit. However, the app, the info is coming in with Celsius. So I was going to do F, C, F, but nah. What are we looking for? We would like to see something done about something. When there's a click function, the current temp unit will do something or other. The variable new temp unit, this is just complete hell. Why is there so much suffering? Not dollar stuff. It will equal current temp is equivalent to... I can do lowercase c's. Oh, crap. Can I do a lowercase c? Hold on. Do they have any type of designation in here for Fahrenheit or Celsius? As far as the character code? No, it's just the numbers. There's no preferential type nonsense formatting issue. No. We're good. All good. C. Ah, crap. But it's going to look weird with the lowercase f for Fahrenheit. Is it going to look weird? It's going to look weird. Capital C. You know, surprisingly, I was glad to see this similar to the, what do we want to call it? The room for variation. Was so small. Yeah, success. Alright, back into action. So we have this, we have that. If that happens, then we have our dollar sign, finally. And then now, it's temp unit, text, new temp unit. Temp unit. Text. Not temp, but new temp unit. End temp. How's that seem? Temp unit, new temp unit. Yeah, cool. Alright. So now we have, if it's Fahrenheit, blah, 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 blah. if new temp is equivalent to F, if something or other, if blank curly brace, else if end temp is equivalent to Fahrenheit, do something variable, whatnot. Variable f temp, math.rent. Yeah, we're just gonna copy the math stuff. That's just gonna be too much fun that I don't want to think about. Copy variable f temp equals math.round parse int temp text 9 divided by 5 times 9 divided by 5 plus 32 temp text f temp plus string character code. Beautiful. D to D to D, else something should happen. My guess, disappointment, frustration, something along the lines of that. Something grim. Temp text. Aha! Here's where it comes. So C temp in Celsius, that's what we had up here. Current temp in Celsius. So C temp in C, blankety blankety blank. Otherwise, temp text $. Dee 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 dee. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Wow, I don't know why I have the theme song to Diddy Kong Racing in my head, but for anyone who's playing Diddy Kong Racing, game's awesome. Oh god, no, bad Steven, bad Steven. C temp in Celsius, which is this. That's where we go. Again, so we can update it here. We'll use it, but it'll be stored and updated and available in other functions to come. Handy, right? So clever how they did that. ctemp will equal or is equivalent. Ctemp will equal. Oh, it's concatenating the character code stuff. Yes, right. BD DD 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 D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D do do do. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Nice. Okay. Wow, we're actually slowly starting to make progress. Does this change? Did I miss temp somewhere? No, I think not. There is a bit of frustration apparently down here. Unexpected token else. Well, I don't know how to make them feel better about that. Like, what do they mean? What am I supposed to do with that? Oh no, that didn't solve it. That quite possibly could have made it worse. What about another one? Yeah, that didn't help. So, what the deuce could be... Oh, there's an issue? Oh my god, it's because we moved the if statement on the outside, which means there's now a missing thing that needs attention. Son of a... Okay, nobody panic. Nobody panic. That does not sound calm, Steven, at all. Okay, just think it out. It's gonna be fine. If, parentheses, curly brace, yeah, see that? It shouldn't be going that far down. It should be ending up here. So, position, curly brace, this, something, with a... Yeah, but now there's more to that. Uh-huh. So now... Aha! There we go. Figured out the syntax nightmare. That was close. Alright, so, see, still just as difficult as ever. Even bouncing between the two. The answer's right there in front of our face, but somehow we still managed to struggle. Okay, so that was that bit. Variable coordinates blank else console log. Cool. That particular nightmare has been dealt with. Onwards to the temp unit. We're doing good. Else, blankety blank. I think everything is actually fine for the click event. Do we have anything to click anywhere? No, not yet, but we will. We will have stuff to click on soon. All in good time, eventually. From here, we need to continue onwards. So now, with the get weather, it's good because we've got this set up, and it's storing... Did they do full latitude and longitude, or did they just reference lat and lon? We should really check that. Aha! See, latitude and longitude. I knew there was a difference. It was the geolocation where we pulled full latitude and longitude fully spelt out. Another issue for why we're having problems. We've got our latitude and longitude. Lat and longitude. Nice. So from there, now we get to start chipping away at the get weather function. Okay, and this is where they're going to concatenate everything. This is where all the magic supposedly comes together. And we hope for the best. The other thing that I remembered we needed to do was concatenate these with... God, I think it's lat colon plus... Pretty sure it's lat colon and longitude as well. I think. Oh, equals. It was equals. My bad. My bad. But yeah, at least we remembered something. That's all we can pray for. Okay, so there's that. Down here, variable, some new special nightmare. Hey, Topher. Okay, PXinc. I threw together this quick no, Tiny Cat, we are in weather hell, alright? This is like borderline. Actually, it's nowhere near as bad as Hurricane Harvey, but still, it's sad and it's frustrating. So, check yourself, Tiny Cat. Topher has sent us news and helpful thing. No, I'm not. Just be small and furry somewhere else. Look at this. Yeah, go away. Oh my god, you have claws. Yeah, claws. You're so persuasive with your tiny toe knives. Topher, BDX saying, I threw together this quick example to help you get the JSON data from the API. CodePen goodness. Not sure if you've done that yet. You can, for example, use that JSON data to display particular details in your web page about the weather. Well, let's take a gander. Let's check it out. Twitch stuff going behind the curtain. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. CodePen goodness. Close out of that noise. Yes. Get weather. It's just a whole button. It lives inside the button, guys. Let's move this over just a skosh. Shimmy that up. Yeah. Ooh, SCSS and Babel. Interesting. I don't think I've ever, I mean, aside from literally babbling, I don't think I've ever used Babel in the code sense before, but let's do, so what's happening? Document.ready, constant weather div, get weather button on click function, if that, navigator, current, function position, display weather, coordinates. Okay. Function, unable to obtain, else, geo app is unavailable. Fair enough. See, function display, wait, yours is so concise. Let API current get API latitude, longitude, function data, weather div, JSON.stringify. How do people know to use stringify? When does that happen? Was I asleep that day? Oh my god. And I know I've used stringify before, but I don't know why or how it works. Anyways, data null to. Well, let's click the button. Ah, cool. Look at that. It works. Neat. Alright, so that's the data. If we weren't to use the button, we would end up tweaking this stuff slightly. Topher, Babel doesn't matter. Didn't use any ES6 anyways. Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's awesome. So, why? Yawns out of nowhere. This is turned into the never-ending nightmare. But we've got at least our specific data now. Thanks to Topher. Look at that. Ta-da! Be-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. So there's this. And weather stuff. Boo-doot, doo-doot, doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doot, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And I think we were finally coming to that point now, although I guess yours does that a bit more concisely. I think that's what this bit is, the whole Ajax stuff. Yours, right? It's actually calling, like it's connecting the dots and bringing in the info that we need. Like on theirs, they had, you know, the city text and the oh, this is routing that info. This is going to be routing all of that information. All right. So, variable URL string. Why don't we'll call it geostring? Oh my god. I can't wait till we're free from this chair. Geostring. That's what we're going to do. Variable geo string equals oh god, it was the first bit. It was everything up top concatenating upon itself with the and API plus latitude plus and shimmied between them, followed by longitude. Now, this will be taken, and we're going to do something with whatever. Okay. Extracting Topher typos. Typos are bad. Topher Gates. You can figure out how to do something useful with the data now that I've shown you an example of the hard part. Getting the data. Hold on. Tiny cat, watch yourselves. Yeah. Throwing cats. Good. Alright, so Val doesn't matter. Let me reread through your comment. Theirs is extracting data from the JSON and putting it into the HTML. Like city. Oh, you know, I totally missed that comment too. Okay. Theirs is extracting. Oh, and theirs and extracting. Okay, and the typos. I don't know why I jumped in at extracting and typos and okay, but don't mind me. Crazy person's choice. But now I see those, so I'm aware. Okay, so theirs, and we'll jump back. Ta-da! Boom. So theirs, freeCodeCamps, is extracting data from the JSON and putting it in to the HTML, like city name and city name and weather description. I'm just dumping the data and haven't done anything useful with it. Oh. Hold on. You can figure out how to do something useful with the data. Okay, you can figure out how to do something useful with the data now that I've shown you an example of the hard part, getting the data. Okay. The other thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, technically, all we need to do at this point, even especially with Topher's, is simply implement the click function. You know? Like, technically this is all the weather data we'd need. So all we have to do is just put in... It's ridiculous. That's a cop-out. They aren't just asking for us to data dump, but that would be a clever fix. I mean, it has clouds and the description and all that kind of stuff. I kind of like the simplified answer. What if I were to take my stuff on click? No, that's fine. That's fine. We do need we don't need to do that. We do want to make it look nice. You don't need a click function. You don't need a click function. You can do it on page load, like the example, but you really need to take information out of the JSON data and make it look nice. Yeah, see, right, making it look nice. Data isn't useful unless it's presented in a way people understand it. Come on, this is, you don't want to see that? Let's do, it looks slightly different than the weather app on my phone. I mean, let's look at like Los Angeles or something like that, or London. Come on, it's basically the same thing. Right? That's, I mean, this and that, so close. There's no difference. Okay. Let's go with, if that's the case, the thing is here, the clicky stuff, because they want it to be able to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit. I think I'm just going to still kind of follow along with their example, despite how awesome and straightforward yours is. Oh, it's so perfect. It's just so concise. Even though I'm doing my best to strip down theirs to make it simple. Although yours is even more basic, which is fantastic. Yeah, we'll stick with it. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the end, fingers crossed. Okay, so not that nonsense, but this nonsense. Dee 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 dee. Dollar Ajax. URL string, success, function, blah. Here we go. Dollar Ajax dot. I really don't want to use all of their noise. Dot Ajax URL string. You know what? And in the interest of saving time, we're not truly benefiting from the time savings aspect, at least as far as the time saving aspect goes. It's not URL, it's geo. Was it equals? Colon. Don't mind me. Just to make sure we end up in the right place. Geo. The result stuff. Result was tied to the function result name, blah, 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 blah. The difference is in the variable names. C temp in C, copy, C temp in Celsius, blankety 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 blank. I just want to see how it all connects. Like, conceptually, I can see how it flows. See the IDs. We'll need to set up. Now I'm starting to dread. Now that we're nearing the end, I'm dreading the CSS part of this nightmare. That's going to be a shit show. Can't believe they had 300 lines for their CSS. There's no... I'm going to have the text centered. Maybe. Optional centered text. Alright. Their switch statement, which really can't get any more basic than this. And additionally, the descriptions and the cases there's no way to simplify this. This is about as bare bones as one could get for the function. I'm just trying to figure out if we want to refer to anything else differently, but I think everything's perfect. Plus, we have so far exceeded our time limit for the stream, it's hilarious. We were supposed to do like 20, maybe 30 minutes tops. But now, no, death. At least the last two are straightforward. However, now I need to set everything up on the HTML side and the CSS portion to bring this nightmare to a close. So, continuing on, the last little bit was the div plus description, and then remove class hide. Why were they removing class hide? What did, if we do that on theirs, okay, gets rid of that. Good to know. This is why we test stuff. $, div plus description, remove class hide. So they're all gonna, that's gonna corner us into using class hide though. Just want us all to think about that. That has ramifications. Dollar was div dot description remove class, is it hide in quotes, or was it quote free? I keep forgetting where all links are. It was... Oh, and they also use single quotes. I don't think that's going to change anything, really. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Actually, I don't think it should be an issue at all. And what we have... Div class hide. Alright, don't mind me. Dear God, we're running out of time, and there's just... We already ran out of time. Let's piece this together. Hold on, don't mind me. Alright, continuing on with the nightmare. I actually think this whole fiasco may actually spin into a third day, which would be just truly awful in the worst sense of the word. Can we save this? Can we? That's a favorite. Let's save Topher's gift of getting the info. Because then we can take that and put it into ours. We're gonna have to land this bird because it's all falling apart. Okay, there's that. Mostly okay. We will continue. Yeah, we're just gonna have to continue the nightmare tomorrow. But I want to save Topher's stuff. Weather stuff? I don't know what that is. I keep clicking the heart and it keeps growing. Weather. Good, good, good. You know what we'll do? We'll take all of this, copy, and we'll implement that above ours. Right here. Oh, HTML, it's the stupid arrows to comment stuff out. God, what is it? It's something like that. Text stuff. I can't even remember. HTML comments. I hate HTML comments. That's what it is, the exclamation. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. There's Topher's code. And then same song and dance down here in our JavaScript. We'll have his waiting in the wind for us tomorrow to better implement all of the goodness that he had to offer. Ta-da! Be-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Okay, so there's that. Still, in the meantime, let's do... Why is the whole thing grayed out? Shouldn't it just be that section? Comment for browser. Oh my god, it's only line by line. Are you kidding me? It's line by line. No, it's not. Look at that. I don't even know. I don't even know. That's totally fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Good enough. Oh, it's the slash. I had a weird slash in it. Okay. So day 248 ends on a fizzle. Yeah, good, good. Shocking. Alright. In the meantime, I mean, we made... Oh, I forgot temp. Why isn't temp more of a thing? Yeah, we're gonna have to piece this nightmare together. I'm actually gonna put that back. Good, good, good. We need the suffering is how we learn. It's just we've run out of time to suffer today, so we can continue suffering tomorrow. Let's go ahead and back out of this noise. Let's close out of this. And save. Ta-da! Saved. Closing out of the noise. Topher's super handy. I'm gonna leave it hearted. Hopefully that means I can find it. If not, I still love it anyways. Very handy. Closing this. Closing that. And that. I think freeCodeCamp's still having some technical difficulties. Again, we weren't able to sign in, but not an issue because we were working here at CodePen today. Let's back out of that into OBS. Day 248 comes to an end, ending on a fizzle. Super soul-crushing, but that's just the way it is. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream and assist or hang out. Today we had Yum Yum, Topher Gates, Shambor, and that was that. Huge hat tip to Topher for assisting. And in the meantime, we are stopping the stream. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 249 of the year of streaming and learning to code. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah, kill it!